Hey friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to talk about how I do my eyebrows at home. Before we get started, I just want to let you know that the links and the information for all of the products that I am going to talk about in this blog post are going to be in the caption of the video below. So make sure you check there if you're interested in purchasing or have any questions about any of the products I'm about to talk about. So I've been doing my eyebrows at home for about a year, and I really like for them to look natural and I don't want them to be too manicured or too harsh or anything like that. And sometimes I feel like when you go get them done at a salon, they can kind of feel that way. So I just wanted to show you guys how I shape them, tweeze them, keep them groomed, and I also color them at home, which helps me when I do my makeup, it makes it easier for me to do my makeup. So I always color them at home as well. So the first thing I want to do is go over all the products that I have so that you'll know what I'm talking about when I mention something here or there. So these are my go-to tweezers. They're Tweezerman tweezers. They're $11, $12. I've had them for years. This is like a buy it once, last a lifetime, keep up with it forever sort of thing. I keep these in my makeup bag so that I always have tweezers with me to get one of those stray hairs. The next product that I use when I'm tweezing my brows is a little spoolie brush to brush them where I need them to be in order to see the shape. And then I also use these little manicure scissors to trim them. I do trim my brows because they get a little long and gnarly. For coloring my eyebrows, I use the Godfrey brand of color and developer. It's made for root touch-ups, and it's super easy. It comes with a package of these little capsules that you use to, it's got powder in there, and you use those to mix with the developer, and you color your eyebrows. I'll show you all of that in just a minute. Let's start first with the grooming of the eyebrows. I use this mirror, and I will use my computer screen here that's filming I like to see the far away picture, and I like to see the close-up picture. So this helps me figure out the general shape and what it's looking like, and this helps me see the fine detail work. So I am going to go back and forth. Like I mentioned earlier, I do like a more natural brow shape, so I don't spend a lot of time worrying about is it perfectly manicured? Is it got a sharp edge? That kind of stuff I can sort of fill in with my pencil if I need to, but for the most part I'm just trying to get the stray brows out of my face so that I don't have them, growing. Why do our eyebrows grow all the way down our eyelids? I don't understand. But I just try to get the stray stuff and make it look nice and clean. That's what I'm going for. So let me start doing that, and I will kind of talk you through my process. So the first thing I do is I use my brush, and I brush everything in an upward direction, and I kind of watch for that natural arch shape in my brow. So you can see it's just right, it's just, everything's backwards. It's just right here. So I try to just make sure I don't do, when you go get your eyebrows done, they do all this business. I don't do any of that. I just sort of follow the natural shape of my eyebrow and get those crazy strays. So I'm gonna get started. While I have everything brushed upward, I go underneath my brow line right here and just get those strays and tweeze all of those out. And a little tip if you are tweezing, because it can get a little painful, especially when you're first starting out and your skin is not excuse me, there's pain, let me send some pain-killing endorphins there, is if you kind of pull your eyebrow a little bit taut like that, which I can't do because I'm holding my mirror, but if you pull your eyebrow a smidge taut, it will help lessen the pain a little bit. I do go for the less is more approach, so I will tend to not tweeze a hair, and I will do the rest of it. If I feel like one is out of place, I will leave it there and see kind of how it looks overall before I go back and tweeze it, because I have found that if you do the one and then you have to do another and another, that sometimes you can mess things up a little bit. Back in high school 100 years ago, I did tweeze half of this eyebrow in that manner on accident. I was just like, oh, that one needs to go. Oh, that one, that one, that one. And I ended up tweezing half my eyebrow off my face. It was traumatizing. I was a senior in high school. It was the worst. When you're a senior in high school, that's the worst. So I did want to mention that really quickly, that if you look at a hair on your eyebrows and you're like, I'm not sure if it should, I would leave it until you kind of get closer to the end, and maybe after you've trimmed your brows, which I'll talk about in a minute, then I would go back and tweeze it if it still looks out of place. Okay, so that's one side underneath done. I get really pink, you can see. I will put some aloe vera gel on that when I am finished with everything. Once I have the bottom done, I do the same process and go along the top. I brush everything down in a downward angle, and I go along the top. Along the top, a lot of what I have is just little baby hairs, those little fine peach fuzzy type hairs. I do get a few along the top that are actual eyebrows. And so mostly what I do is I just go through and quickly grab and pull and grab and pull and grab and pull to take care of those. I don't do a lot of shaping along the top of the brow because I feel like it takes the height away from my brows if I do too much. So I try to keep it to a minimum and just kind of clean up along the top. So I'll show you. So as you can see, this is what I do along the top. There's no actual shaping going on. It's just kind of a cleaning up of those little baby fine peach fuzz hairs that go along the top of my brow. There's not a lot going on up there, so it only takes a second. So now you can kind of see the natural shape that my brow is taking, and it's already coming together a little bit more. My eyebrows are very light, which is why I always color them. So it's hard to see, but there is a better shape down here. I've tweezed underneath here and gotten all these little hairs as well. The next part that I focus on is this and here and then across here. I get two little eyebrows that grow out right here on my nose. So I always make sure to get those. And I usually do the same technique to get any little peach fuzz type hairs that are growing right here. Okay, I have finished tweezing this brow, and now I'm going to trim it. So what I do to trim my brows, this is a very delicate process, so please proceed with caution. Caution, caution, caution. But what I do is I use these little tiny manicure scissors, and because my eyebrows can tend to get a little long, they look a little disheveled, or they get out of place really easily. So what I do is I comb down again, and then I will go through and just trim. So I just run my scissors, let's see here, there we go, along the bottom line right here and trim. This is incredibly difficult, like this. That's what I do. There we go. I'm not actually doing it, just so you know. And you can see it just kind of helps get that shape back together a little bit. And then I go through and do the same thing along the top. So I'm going to work on that. Okay, so this eyebrow is completely done with the grooming process. I have tweezed it and trimmed it, and we are good to move on to the next eyebrow. But before I do that, I want to show you guys really quickly how I color my eyebrows. So, when you order the kit, which I do have linked in the caption below, it comes with this little cup. It also comes with these capsules, and these have the powder color in them. You get the developer, which is 10 volume developer, which is what you need because you're just depositing color into your eyebrows. And it comes with a little brush to apply it with. So what I do before I mix up my color is I have Aquaphor in this adorable tiny tube. But Aquaphor, any kind of ointment, oil-based ointment that you can put around your eyebrow to protect the skin around your brow so that if the color doesn't leak onto your skin. I always line my eyebrow with the Aquaphor. I put a little bit of it on a Q-tip, like so. It does not take much at all. All I'm doing is creating a barrier between the color and my skin so that I don't end up with a big black stain around my eyebrow. I just go right along the bottom here, and it really just leaves a very thin layer. That's all you need. Very careful not to get it in your eyebrows, because then obviously it's going to block the color from depositing into your eyebrows, and that's what we're going for here, right? I am just going to go ahead and do the one side so that you can see the gigantic difference in my eyebrows once it's colored. Because they are so, so light. So the color that I have is light brown. My philosophy is that you would like for your eyebrows to be one shade darker than your hair. So I have light blonde hair, so I went one shade darker and did light brown. If you have dark hair, you want to go one shade lighter, because then if you don't, your eyebrows are going to be very, very harsh. So I take one of these little capsules, and you can break it open, which I'm going to do over, I have a towel down here so that I don't get color everywhere. Usually I will tap it to kind of get the color down on one end so it doesn't spill. So you can break it open, you can see the little powder granules in there, right? And I pour about half of it into the little mixing cup that they give you. A little bit more. It does not take much of this product at all to do your eyebrows. And then I recap the capsule, put it back in the bag. So you can see how much product I have in there. It's very, very, very little. And then you want about the same amount of developer that you do color. I get to pull out my cosmetology roots here. So I would say it's about 1/8 of a teaspoon. So I'm just going to squirt, I mean, it's very thick, which is what you want, because you want it to stay in place. You don't want it to be runny. So you can see I have about the same amount of developer. And then I use, this is what I do, because if you use the brush end of your brush to mix this together, it kind of all gets caught up in the brush. So I use this end to stir it up together. You want it to be totally and completely combined. And then once it's combined, this is what I do. I kind of scrape the color off the sides. Let me make sure I get this on the right eyebrow. Again, backwards on the camera screen here. And I will just kind of run it through my brow just to scrape the rest of it off so it doesn't go to waste. It looks crazy, but I promise it's not going to be this dark when we're done. And then I'll just wipe the remainder off with a Kleenex. So I have my little thing here. The trick with color is that you want to make sure you get it down into your eyebrows. Color does not expand as it processes, which means that it doesn't get bigger. Bleach expands as it processes, which means it covers more space than what you actually put it on, but color does not do that. So you want to make sure that you get it smashed down into your eyebrows really, really well. That's why it is important to line your face with the Aquaphor first and go all the way down and fill it completely in. And then you want to make sure also that you kind of, once you have it on your eyebrow, you want to make sure that you kind of glob it over the top too. You have it pushed down into the roots of your eyebrow, and then you kind of want to like leave a thicker layer of it over the top as well. So once it is on there, I let it sit for about 4 or 5 minutes and process. It does not take very long at all. It should not burn or tingle or anything like that. And once it's processed, I'll just use a Kleenex and wipe it right off. Okay, as you can see, it has gotten darker. Color does get darker as it processes. And so, it's been 3 or 4 minutes. What I'm going to do is I use just a Kleenex. And I wipe the color off, being very careful to keep it on the Kleenex and not smear it all over my face, right? But can you see the gigantic difference in my eyebrows? It's crazy how many eyebrows I have that you can't see because they're like clear blonde. Once I've wiped the color off, I will usually go back and make sure the shape is correct, because this usually will highlight some eyebrows that I missed because they were clear or blonde and I couldn't see them. So I will go back and check the shape real quick and make sure it's all good. It can be a little confusing because sometimes it will leave your skin a little bit darker and that looks like eyebrow hair, but it's not. So don't let that confuse you. I think I am good. Okay, friends, this is the final look. I have finished getting ready for the day, makeup and everything, but I did want to tell you that I have no products at all on my eyebrows. After I finished coloring my second one and tweezing it and all of that good stuff, I actually went and scrubbed them really, really well with my face wash to get any residual color off of my skin and out of the eyebrows itself. And I have no pencil and no brow set on these at all. This is just all natural brows. So it is incredible the difference that coloring your eyebrows can make. If you've never tried it, I really encourage you to give it a go because it can make a huge difference in your daily routine and how your face looks. They just frame your face so well, and it's crazy the difference it makes to color them. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm super excited that you were here. If you liked this video, please be sure to hit the like button below. If you have a question, leave a comment in the comment section and I will be happy to answer any questions that you have. And to get notifications when I release new videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Check out more information at skymcclain.com and I'll see you later.